I really tried my best, please watch the video until the end.
I stand before the massive rift tearing the silent sky. The temporal distortion emits a freezing blue radiation. My enemy steps forward with absolute arrogant confidence. He does not realize the sheer scale of his fatal error. The heavy air suddenly drops to absolute zero temperature. A colossal shadow emerges from the deep dimensional void. The Azure Dragon manifests its terrifying cosmic presence. Deep space scales reflect ancient dead stars and planets. Glowing blue veins pulse with raw concentrated time energy. Galaxies slowly rotate inside those massive reptilian eyes. System alert: SSS-Rank Temporal Azure Sovereign detected. The creature does not roar or make any aggressive sound. Silence crushes the battlefield with immense physical weight. My opponent summons his golden armor glowing with power. He charges his ultimate attack using all available mana. A massive kinetic blast flies toward the floating dragon. The dragon merely exhales a silent wave of blue energy. This is the legendary stasis breath destroying reality. It does not freeze the physical flesh or the weak bones. It completely stops the flow of time around the target. The golden warrior freezes midair in a permanent statue. His kinetic blast dissipates into harmless glowing sparks. I observe the exact mechanics of this absolute punishment. The victim remains fully conscious inside the frozen shell. He will perceive every passing second for 1,000 years. He cannot move a single muscle or blink his trapped eyes. Total paralysis traps his mind in an endless silent hell. System alert: target locked in eternal temporal stasis. I calculate the exact duration of his infinite suffering. The dragon shifts its massive gaze toward the next enemy. A second warrior tries to escape through a spatial portal. He runs with maximum speed across the broken wasteland. The cosmic beast does not chase the fleeing pathetic man. It simply phases its physical body into the time stream. The blue glowing scales vanish from my immediate vision. I feel the fabric of reality shudder under massive strain. The dragon is currently traveling back into the deep past. It finds the exact moment before this battle even started. A temporal shockwave ripples through the present timeline. The fleeing warrior suddenly stops moving his heavy legs. His solid armor begins to crack and dissolve into nothing. His entire physical form turns into gray floating dust. The wind scatters his remaining particles across the dirt. His lifeline was completely severed in the distant past. He literally ceased to exist before he could strike me. System alert. The present timeline is successfully stabilized. I watch the temporal void open above the ruined battlefield. The Azure Dragon returns to the current stable dimension. Its massive claws land silently on the crushed gray stone. The cosmic energy radiating from it warps the local space. I step forward to inspect the frozen golden statue man. His eyes are locked in a permanent expression of pure fear. I can see the tiny rapid movements of his trapped pupils. He is screaming endlessly inside his own paralyzed mind. The temperature drops again as the beast lowers its head. I touch the cold, deep space scales with my bare left hand. A surge of pure temporal data floods my neural pathways. I see the birth and death of stars in a single microsecond. The power of the void hums beneath the thick dragon skin. System alert. Synchronization with the void entity complete. More enemies arrive at the perimeter of the dead wasteland. An entire army of elite soldiers surrounds our position. They deploy heavy kinetic cannons and energy shield walls. The commander shouts orders through a loud amplifier unit. I do not waste any time listening to their pathetic words. I simply point my finger at the massive incoming battalion. The Azure Dragon opens its jaws to release another breath. Blue light swallows the entire horizon in one swift motion. The moving army instantly becomes a silent museum display. Hundreds of men are caught mid-step in perfect stillness. Their energy shields freeze as solid walls of blue glass. The kinetic artillery shells hang motionless in the cold air. I walk slowly through the ranks of these paralyzed statues. Every single soldier is fully aware of his tragic dark fate. They will stand here watching the world rot around them. Their armor will rust away before they can even blink once. I tap the frozen artillery shell with my armored finger. It feels like a solid piece of indestructible cold diamond. The temporal lock is completely absolute and unbreakable. System alert: mass stasis field deployed across the sector. The dragon coils its massive body around a ruined tower. The blue veins on its dark scales glow with intense power. I analyze the strategic advantage of this ultimate ability. Killing an enemy is a very simple and temporary solution. Erasing them from the timeline leaves absolutely no trace. Trapping them in eternal stasis sends a terrifying message. The remaining enemy forces will surrender without a fight. I look up at the swirling galaxies inside the dragon eyes. We share a silent understanding of our absolute supremacy. A new spatial rift opens directly above the frozen army. The enemy warlord descends from his floating command ship. He wears a heavy mechanized suit powered by dark matter. The gravity around him distorts the local physical space. He looks at his frozen soldiers with visible deep confusion. He activates his weapon systems to target my exact location. The dragon does not wait for him to charge his main attack. It vanishes again into the complex invisible time stream. I stand perfectly still and wait for the temporal feedback. The warlord fires a massive beam of destructive dark energy. The beam travels toward my chest with incredible velocity. It suddenly stops moving just 10 inches from my cold face. The energy beam begins to decay into harmless gray smoke. The warlord drops his heavy weapon in absolute sudden shock. His mechanized suit loses all power and shuts down completely. The metal plates fall apart and crash onto the solid ground. His body rapidly ages thousands of years in one single second. The dragon has destroyed his energy source in the distant past. The warlord crumbles into fine dust before he hits the floor. System alert: high-value target erased from the main timeline. I brush the gray dust off my dark protective shoulder armor. The temporal beast materializes right behind my exact position. Its presence brings a deep, comforting chill to my tired bones. I survey the silent battlefield filled with frozen living men. This dead world now belongs entirely to me and my dark beast. We will conquer every single dimension using this exact method. No armor or magic shield can block an attack from the past. No healing magic can fix a lifeline that never truly existed. I command the dragon to open a portal to the next target zone. A massive tear in reality reveals a bright, futuristic city. Millions of unaware people go about their normal daily lives. They do not know that their future has already been decided. The Azure Dragon flies through the rift with immense dark grace. I follow closely behind it into the new vibrant dimension. The air in this city instantly drops to absolute zero cold. System alert. The mass temporal suppression protocol is starting. The sky turns a deep shade of cosmic glowing blue radiation. Citizens stop walking and look up at the massive alien beast. The dragon exhales a silent wave of pure stasis energy fire. The entire busy metropolis freezes in one single tragic moment. Flying vehicles hang motionless high above the silent streets. The water in the grand fountains stops mid-air like solid glass. I land softly on the roof of the highest corporate skyscraper. I look down at the millions of conscious, trapped human statues. They will remain exactly like this until the end of the world. I have become the absolute sovereign of the void and the time. The planetary defense forces deploy their ultimate weapon. A massive laser strikes the dragon directly on the head. The energy simply absorbs into the glowing blue cosmic veins. The beast turns its massive head toward the distant sky. It phases out of reality to hunt the weapon in the deep past. The bright sky suddenly turns pitch black without any warning. The advanced weapon station never actually existed in orbit. Metallic debris rains down harmlessly upon the frozen city. I walk toward the edge of the tall building to watch the sky. My enemies will never understand the true nature of this power. Time is not a straight river flowing in one single direction. It is an ocean of endless possibilities waiting to be shaped. The Azure Dragon swims through this ocean with absolute ease. System alert. Total dimensional control is successfully achieved. I close my eyes and listen to the beautiful, perfect silence. I open my eyes to observe the frozen metallic landscape. The perfect silence is suddenly broken by a deep rumble. I analyze the source of this unexpected acoustic anomaly. A massive crater opens in the center of the silent plaza. Heavy titanium blast doors slide apart with immense force. The local resistance forces have been hiding underground. Hundreds of armored vehicles drive out of the dark tunnel. They deploy thick energy shields glowing with red plasma. These fools actually believe they can fight a cosmic god. System alert. Unregistered hostile energy signatures found. The lead vehicle fires a concentrated beam of pure plasma. The burning red light travels directly toward my location. I do not even bother to raise my hand to block the strike. The Azure Dragon shifts its massive body in the cold air. Its glowing blue eyes track the incoming destructive beam. The cosmic beast exhales a very thin stream of blue mist. The temporal mist collides with the burning plasma attack. The red energy beam instantly stops moving in the mid-air. It becomes a solid pillar of frozen light suspended above. The resistance commander shouts orders from his heavy tank. His men prepare to launch a massive barrage of explosives. They do not understand the absolute futility of their war. The dragon phases its physical form into the time current. The glowing blue scales fade into the invisible dimension. I wait for the inevitable temporal collapse of my enemies. A sudden shockwave ripples across the entire ruined plaza. The heavy titanium tanks suddenly begin to rust and decay. Their thick armor plates turn into brittle orange powder. The explosive shells detonate prematurely inside the guns. The kinetic force throws the soldiers onto the cold ground. Their weapons were sabotaged in the distant, forgotten past. System alert, local resistance units successfully neutralized. I walk down the glass building toward the ruined vehicles. The surviving soldiers try to crawl away from the wreckage. Their physical bodies are completely broken and exhausted. The Azure Dragon materializes right above their weak heads. The temperature drops to absolute zero in a single second. I watch the freezing blue radiation wash over the cowards. The stasis breath locks them in a permanent state of pain. Their terrified faces freeze with open mouths and wide eyes. They will spend eternity trapped inside this exact moment. I step over a frozen soldier holding a useless broken gun. His trapped pupils dart around in absolute pure dark panic. This is the ultimate price for challenging the Void Master. A strange temporal fluctuation echoes through the dead city. The frozen air shatters like glass around a glowing portal. I sense a very familiar cosmic energy radiating from within. A tall figure steps out of the bright yellow spatial rift. He wears an elegant silver combat suit lined with chromium. This material is specifically designed to resist time magic. System alert, temporal assassin from the upper realm detected. The assassin draws a long blade forged from captured stars. The weapon hums with a highly unstable gravitational force. He thinks his advanced equipment can protect his weak life. He activates his silver suit and teleports across the zone. His physical speed completely breaks the local sound barrier. I track his kinetic trajectory using my enhanced perception. The star blade swings directly toward my unprotected neck. The heavy gravitational field crushes the concrete beneath me. I simply stand my ground and look into his confident eyes. The Azure Dragon intercepts the attack with its massive tail. The dark space scales clash against the glowing star blade. A massive shockwave of pure energy destroys the nearby walls. The assassin bounces back and lands on a frozen flying car. He looks at his legendary weapon with visible deep confusion. The blade is rapidly decaying into a dull, gray, useless metal. The dragon did not just block the powerful kinetic strike, it accelerated the localized time around the specific weapon. Millions of years of entropy crushed the sword in 1 second. System alert, hostile weapon successfully aged into pure dust. The assassin throws the ruined hilt onto the cold, hard ground. He activates a secondary temporal drive on his armored back. He plans to escape into the future to avoid my total wrath. A sphere of yellow light forms around his entire physical body. The local space begins to warp and twist under the heavy load. I cannot allow this pathetic insect to simply run away now. I command my cosmic beast to execute the ultimate punishment. The dragon opens its jaws and releases a massive blue storm. The stasis breath collides with the yellow temporal shield. The two opposing cosmic forces grind against each other hard. Sparks of raw, broken time rain down upon the silent, dead city. I observe the structural integrity of his silver combat suit. The chromium plating begins to crack under the absolute zero. The assassin screams as the freezing blue energy enters inside. His yellow escape portal shatters into a million tiny pieces. The stasis field completely swallows his entire physical form. His body freezes mid-air while trying to reach for a new weapon. The temporal lock secures his mind in an endless, silent prison. System alert. High-level threat neutralized and locked in time. I walk slowly over the broken concrete toward the frozen man. His silver armor is now covered in a thick layer of blue frost. I can see his trapped eyes darting back and forth in pure fear. He is a conscious prisoner inside his own paralyzed dead flesh. He will experience every single second of the next billion years. This is the exact fate reserved for all who oppose my dark reign. I raise my armored hand and tap his frozen silver chest plate. The kinetic impact sends a hollow echo across the silent plaza. He is completely indestructible and completely, utterly helpless. The Azure Dragon lands heavily on the ruined street behind me. The glowing blue veins pulse with a rhythmic, hypnotic, calm beat. I feel the immense void energy flowing through our shared link. System alert. Energy reserves are currently at maximum capacity. We have completely conquered this entire pathetic dimension now. Every living creature is locked in a perfect, permanent stillness. I must find a new battlefield to test the limits of this power. The dragon looks up at the dark sky filled with dead cold stars. Galaxies swirl inside its eyes with terrifying dark grace. It opens a new spatial rift leading to an unknown distant realm. The dimensional tear emits a blinding flash of pure white light. I step through the portal and leave the frozen dead city behind. The transition between worlds feels like a heavy... I arrive on a massive floating continent made of solid red stone. Rivers of liquid fire flow across the barren, harsh landscape. The ambient temperature is high enough to melt standard armor. My dark protective gear easily absorbs the extreme thermal heat. The Azure Dragon follows me through the closing spatial portal. Its cold, cosmic presence instantly cools the burning atmosphere. System alert, extreme thermal environment successfully stabilized. A loud horn echoes across the floating redstone continent. Massive winged demons fly out of a deep volcanic underground pit. They carry heavy weapons forged from burning black dark iron. These creatures feed on the raw kinetic energy of their enemies. They dive toward us with incredible speed and vicious intent. I do not draw my weapon or prepare any defensive magic spells. The dragon simply stares at the approaching demonic flying swarm. It does not even need to use the legendary blue stasis breath. It phases its tail into the invisible flowing time stream. The temporal strike manifests in the current physical reality. The leading demons suddenly lose their massive leathery wings. They plummet from the sky and crash into the solid red stone. Their wings were severed by a phantom attack in the distant past. The remaining demons halt their dive in absolute pure shock. They look at their fallen comrades with visible deep confusion. System alert. Temporal severance protocol successfully executed. The dragon opens its jaws to finish the rest of the dark swarm. A silent wave of pure blue stasis energy washes over the sky. The flying demons freeze instantly in the hot, burning upper air. They hang motionless above the rivers of flowing liquid fire. Their terrifying faces are locked in a permanent silent scream. I watch the frozen statues cast long shadows on the red ground. The Demon King emerges from the largest volcanic crater nearby. He wears a heavy crown made of glowing, cursed black obsidian. His massive physical body radiates an intense, raw, magical power. He points a giant iron trident directly at my armored chest. A beam of concentrated hellfire shoots from the sharp weapon. I simply observe the incoming attack with absolute cold boredom. The Azure Dragon steps forward to block the burning strike. The hellfire hits the deep space scales and instantly dissipates. The cosmic energy entirely absorbs the weak, pathetic heat wave. The Demon King charges forward with massive, heavy physical steps. He plans to crush me using his superior physical raw strength. He does not know his future has already been completely erased. The dragon vanishes into the time stream before the king hits. A massive temporal shockwave shakes the entire red continent. The charging Demon King suddenly drops his giant iron trident. His thick, muscular arms begin to rapidly wither and decay away. The cursed obsidian crown crumbles into fine black floating dust. His entire massive body turns into a cloud of gray dead ashes. The hot wind scatters his remains across the barren landscape. His lifeline was brutally severed thousands of years ago now. The supreme ruler of this hellish realm simply ceased to exist. System alert alpha target successfully erased from the timeline. I walk toward the spot where the giant Demon King just stood. There is absolutely no trace of his existence left on this earth. This is the terrifying reality of the void temporal sovereign. The Azure Dragon returns to the present moment with silent grace. Its glowing blue veins pulse with a fresh surge of cosmic energy. I feel the absolute supremacy flowing through my own human veins. The remaining lesser demons drop their heavy weapons in panic. They fall to their knees and bow before my magnificent beast. They hope to surrender and save their pathetic, miserable lives. I do not accept surrenders from creatures of such low value. I point my armored finger at the massive kneeling demonic army. The dragon unleashes another massive wave of pure stasis breath. The freezing blue light completely swallows the entire horde. Thousands of demons freeze instantly in their kneeling positions. Their terrified eyes are locked in a permanent state of dread. System alert mass temporal suppression successfully deployed. I walk through the silent ranks of these paralyzed, ugly monsters. Every single one is fully conscious inside the frozen hard shell. They will kneel here forever as a monument to my total victory. The liquid fire rivers slowly cool down and turn to solid stone. The stasis field permanently alters the entire local environment. I stand at the very edge of the massive floating red island. I look down at the endless void separating the many dimensions. Infinite worlds are waiting to be conquered by my dark power. The Azure Dragon coils its body around a tall, dark black spire. The glowing blue veins illuminate the dead, silent, dark landscape. We are the absolute masters of both the deep void and the time. System alert. Dimensional conquest parameters are fully satisfied. I close my eyes and let the freezing cosmic energy wash over me. The silence of a frozen world is the most beautiful sound of all. A new anomaly suddenly registers within my expanded neural mind. A massive fleet of golden spaceships drops out of the hyperspace. They surround the floating red continent in a perfect circle. The celestial army has finally arrived to challenge my rule. These arrogant light beings consider themselves guardians of time. They deploy millions of glowing soldiers into the freezing air. System alert. Divine celestial entities detected in the sector. The lead golden ship fires a massive beam of pure, holy light. The holy energy attempts to purge the void from this dimension. I do not move a single muscle to dodge the incoming holy attack. The Azure Dragon opens its jaws and consumes the pure holy light. The glowing blue veins on its scales flare with intense power. The celestial commander shouts orders from his high golden deck. He orders the entire golden fleet to charge their main weapons. They plan to erase this entire continent from the dark universe. The dragon phases its physical body into the deep time current. It travels back to the exact moment these golden ships were made. I watch the present timeline shudder under the heavy time load. The massive golden spaceships suddenly begin to rust and decay. Their divine engines fail and explode into harmless white sparks. The heavy metal hulls dissolve into fine, floating golden dust. The millions of angelic soldiers lose their glowing energy wings. They plummet from the dark sky like heavy stones falling down. Their creation was entirely prevented in the distant, deep past. System alert celestial fleet successfully erased from existence. The golden dust rains down upon the frozen red stone landscape. I catch a handful of the divine particles in my dark metal hand. The supreme guardians of light were destroyed without any fight. The Azure Dragon returns from the time stream and lands near me. Its massive deep space eyes reflect the falling golden dust. We have proven that nothing can resist the dark temporal void. I look out across the endless, silent, frozen, demonic wasteland. Every single threat in this dimension has been fully neutralized. My reign as the supreme sovereign of time is completely absolute. System alert. Ultimate dimensional authority permanently secured. I command the dragon to open a portal to the next target zone. A massive spatial rift tears through the fabric of the universe. The new dimension reveals a massive advanced cybernetic world. Giant metal towers pierce the dark artificial smog atmosphere. Billions of synthetic humans operate in a perfect hive mind. They do not feel organic fear or understand the concept of pain. They calculate every probability using massive quantum brains. They immediately detect our unauthorized entry into their space. System alert hostile quantum network locking onto our position. Millions of automated defense drones launch from the tall towers. They form a massive solid wall of pure kinetic dark energy. I step forward onto the cold steel platform of the high building. The Azure Dragon follows me with absolute majestic cosmic grace. The synthetic hive mind sends a direct neural signal to my head. They demand our immediate surrender and physical assimilation. I simply block their pathetic digital signal with my void power. Machines cannot comprehend the true infinite nature of time. The dragon opens its jaws and releases a massive wave of stasis. The freezing cosmic energy washes over the mechanical city. Millions of flying defense drones freeze instantly in the sky. The synthetic humans halt their coordinated movements below me. Their glowing red optical sensors lock into a permanent stare. They are now fully trapped inside their frozen robotic bodies. System alert. Global cybernetic network completely paralyzed now. I walk toward the edge of the steel platform to inspect the city. The perfect logical machines are experiencing true eternal fear. They will spend billions of years calculating their failure. The Central Intelligence Core tries to launch a final heavy nuke. A massive silo opens in the center of the frozen metal capital. A giant missile powered by dark matter rises from the ground. The Azure Dragon does not even bother to use its massive tail. It simply stares at the rising missile with its deep galaxy eyes. The localized time around the nuclear weapon rapidly accelerates. The dark matter core decays and collapses into absolute nothing. The heavy titanium shell rusts and crumbles into fine gray dust. The ultimate weapon of this machine world is erased in a second. System alert. Final planetary defense mechanism fully destroyed. I watch the gray dust scatter across the frozen metallic city. The perfect silence of the void reclaims this noisy dimension. I touch the cold, deep space scales of my loyal cosmic dragon. We have established absolute dominance over 3 entire worlds. Every single enemy who dared to oppose us is now a frozen statue. They will serve as eternal warnings to any future challengers. I stand on the cold metal platform observing the dead city. The perfect silence stretches across the mechanical horizon. My dark cosmic power has completely consumed this dimension. System alert. Assimilation of the machine network is complete. The Azure Dragon shifts its massive weight on the steel roof. Deep space scales scrape against the frozen titanium surface. I calculate the energy required for the next dimensional jump. We must strike the central core of this entire multiverse now. The dragon opens its jaws to tear a new hole in the reality. A massive vortex of swirling blue light consumes the dark sky. I step directly into the freezing center of the spatial rift. The absolute zero temperature hardens my dark protective armor. The spatial portal opens into a dimension of pure chaotic magic. Massive storms of raw elemental energy tear across the dark sky. I stand on a floating island made of solid dark purple stone. The dragon absorbs the wild magic with its glowing blue veins. System alert. High concentration of unstable mana detected here. 4 massive elemental lords rise from the turbulent dark ocean. The Lord of Fire radiates a heat that melts the physical air. The Lord of Ice freezes the space with pure, absolute deep cold. The Lord of Earth crushes gravity with his massive heavy body. The Lord of Wind creates storms that shred the fabric of time. They roar in perfect unison and charge toward my exact location. They believe their combined magic power can crush my dark beast. I simply cross my armored arms and watch their pathetic attack. The Azure Dragon does not even bother to use the stasis breath. It phases its massive physical body into the deep time current. A massive temporal shockwave hits the charging elemental lords. The Lord of Fire suddenly loses his burning internal magic core. His flames turn into harmless gray smoke and fade into nothing. The Lord of Earth crumbles into fine sand and blows far away. Their physical forms were entirely erased in the distant past. System alert. Multiple alpha-level threats erased from existence. The remaining 2 lords stop moving in absolute, pure, deep shock. They look at the empty space where their brothers just existed. They immediately try to flee back into the turbulent dark ocean. I point my heavy armored finger at their retreating magic backs. The dragon returns from the void and unleashes the blue breath. The freezing cosmic energy hits the fleeing lords in the midair. The Lord of Wind freezes as a solid pillar of swirling blue ice. The Lord of Ice is trapped inside a much colder absolute stasis. They hang motionless above the chaotic, turbulent, magical ocean. Their massive faces are locked in a permanent, silent, dark fear. System alert. Elemental dimension successfully locked in stasis. I walk to the edge of the floating, dark, purple solid rock. I look down at the paralyzed gods of this chaotic magic realm. They will spend eternity regretting their massive, fatal mistake. The wild magic storms around us freeze into solid, beautiful art. The entire dimension falls completely silent under my dark rule. I command my cosmic dragon to open the final dimensional portal. We emerge inside a realm made entirely of pure, bright energy. There are no stars in this endless, empty, bright white space. This is the ultimate nexus connecting every single timeline. System alert. Entering the primary dimensional control sector. Massive crystalline structures float through the bright void. They serve as the physical anchors for different realities. A deep harmonic vibration echoes through the white emptiness. Hundreds of enormous cosmic entities guard this sacred place. They possess physical bodies made of solid, bright starlight. The Guardians detect our unauthorized presence in their home. They immediately shift their massive forms toward my location. I do not feel any biological fear facing these ancient gods. The Azure Dragon lets out a silent pulse of pure void energy. The freezing blue aura clashes against the blinding holy light. System alert. Hostile Supreme Reality Weavers are approaching. The lead Guardian summons a weapon forged from a dying sun. The burning spear radiates immense destructive thermal heat. He throws the massive projectile directly at my armored chest. The kinetic force behind the strike bends the local pure space. I simply stand my ground and watch the burning spear approach. The dragon exhales a concentrated beam of freezing blue mist. The stasis breath hits the sun weapon in the absolute midair. The burning thermal energy instantly drops to absolute zero. The massive spear becomes a harmless pillar of frozen blue ice. It shatters into a million tiny pieces of harmless cold dust. The Supreme Guardian stops moving in absolute pure deep shock. He cannot comprehend the destruction of his ultimate weapon. System alert, enemy thermal attack successfully neutralized now. I point my left hand at the remaining army of bright entities. The Azure Dragon dives into the invisible flowing time stream. The blue glowing scales vanish from my direct physical sight. A temporal shockwave ripples across the bright white dimension. The massive crystals crack under the heavy temporal strain. The Guardians suddenly lose their bright, solid physical forms. Their starlight bodies decay into dull gray floating dust. The dragon has destroyed their ancient source in the deep past. They cease to exist before they can launch another strike. System alert. Defensive fleet erased from the current timeline. The white void becomes completely silent and perfectly still. I walk across the invisible floor toward the central crystal. This giant object controls the flow of time across all worlds. The Azure Dragon materializes right behind my exact position. Its massive deep space eyes stare at the glowing central core. I place my armored hand on the warm surface of the huge crystal. System alert. Access to the universal core is completely granted. A violent energy signature disrupts the perfect silent calm. The space above the crystal tears open with immense raw force. A colossal figure steps out of the dark, swirling spatial rift. He wears a dark cloak woven from the threads of dead worlds. This is the prime architect of the entire infinite multiverse. He looks at my cosmic beast with absolute pure burning hatred. He raises his hand to rewrite the fundamental laws of physics. The gravity in the white void increases 1,000,000 times over. The Azure Dragon simply ignores the heavy gravitational shift. Its body is completely immune to any standard physical forces. System alert, extreme gravity anomaly detected in the local area. The architect summons a massive storm of pure dark antimatter. He plans to erase my physical body from the current dimension. The black clouds of destruction rush toward my exact location. I command my beast to execute the final absolute dark judgment. The dragon opens its jaws to release the ultimate stasis breath. The freezing cosmic wave hits the dense dark antimatter storm. The destructive black energy completely stops moving in the air. It freezes into a solid wall of harmless dark glass structure. The architect watches his supreme attack fail in absolute shock. He tries to open an emergency portal to escape the frozen zone. He does not understand that time is already completely locked. The stasis field expands rapidly across the bright white void. System alert. Total dimensional lockdown protocol is now active. The freezing blue radiation washes over his massive, tall figure. The architect freezes mid-step while reaching for his portal. His powerful cosmic body is now a permanent silent ice statue. His eyes are wide open with pure, terrifying, cold realization. He is fully conscious inside his paralyzed, immortal dead flesh. He will spend eternity watching me rule his precious universe. He is completely trapped in a single, endless, agonizing moment. System alert, supreme creator entity, successfully neutralized. The Azure Dragon coils its massive body around the bright core. The blue veins pulse with the rhythm of 1 billion human hearts. I look out across the endless, frozen white, pure, empty expanse. Every single threat in existence is now completely eliminated. There are no more gods left to challenge my absolute dark rule. I am the sole master of the void and the infinite time stream. I command the dragon to synchronize with the universal crystal. The beast plunges its heavy claws into the glowing, warm surface. A massive wave of pure blue cosmic energy explodes outward now. It travels faster than light across every single known reality. The stasis field alters the fundamental laws of the deep nature. System alert. Universal reality rewrite process is starting now. The frozen architect floats silently in the new, dark, empty void. His paralyzed form will orbit this central core for an eternity. I sit upon a throne forged from the shattered bright crystals. The cold, deep space scales of my beast rest heavy at my feet. I feel the absolute perfection of this completely silent cosmos. Time no longer flows forward in a chaotic, unpredictable river. It stands perfectly still under my direct, absolute command. System alert. Absolute temporal supremacy is permanently secured. I close my eyes and listen to the beautiful, endless, dark quiet. The absolute silence stretches across the dead, frozen universe. I sit motionless upon my new throne of shattered white crystal. The cold, deep space scales of my beast rest against my armor. The temperature in this central nexus remains at absolute zero. I observe the paralyzed supreme architect floating in the void. His massive physical form is locked in a permanent, silent fear. He will orbit this dead universal core for an absolute eternity. System alert. Universal stasis field is operating at peak levels. I run my heavy metal hand over the glowing blue dragon scales. The cosmic beast breathes with a very slow and hypnotic rhythm. Every single timeline is now perfectly secured under my control. There are no unpredictable variables left to calculate here now. The chaotic nature of existence has been completely eliminated. A sudden microscopic vibration disrupts the perfect dead silence. I open my eyes to analyze this highly unexpected physical event. The frozen spatial fabric begins to crack right above my throne. A massive, jagged black rift tears through the bright white void. System alert, unknown dimensional breach detected in the sector. I do not move a single muscle to prepare any defensive measures. The Azure Dragon slowly lifts its massive head from the crystal. Its deep galaxy eyes lock onto the expanding dark spatial tear. A completely new type of energy spills into my frozen universe. This is not magic or advanced cybernetic quantum technology now. This force is the pure physical manifestation of absolute decay. Massive ships forged from condensed black holes exit the portal. They consume the light with an immense heavy gravitational pull. These entities come from the forgotten space beyond all reality. They feed on dead timelines and harvest frozen, silent universes. System alert. Outer void scavengers are entering the local space. Millions of shadowy figures drop from the heavy, dark spaceships. They do not possess any solid biological or mechanical structure. Their physical forms are made entirely of pure antimatter dust. The lead scavenger points a dark weapon directly at my location. He intends to harvest my universal core to fuel his dead empire. He fires a concentrated beam of pure, absolute conceptual erasure. The black energy travels through the void with terrifying speed. I simply watch the incoming destructive attack with cold boredom. The Azure Dragon intercepts the dark beam with its massive tail. The cosmic scales clash violently against the antimatter strike. A massive kinetic shockwave shatters the nearby frozen crystals. The dark erasure energy completely dissipates into harmless dust. The scavengers halt their advance in absolute pure dark shock. They cannot understand how a physical object survived the blast. System alert. Hostile conceptual erasure attack fully neutralized. I stand up from my crystal throne and project my cold authority. These pathetic parasites dare to enter my perfectly silent realm. They will learn the true meaning of absolute eternal punishment. I command my cosmic beast to execute the total temporal lockdown. The dragon opens its jaws and releases a massive blue void storm. The stasis breath expands across the entire bright white sector. The freezing energy collides with the heavy dark black ships. The condensed black holes try to swallow the blue stasis mist. The temporal magic completely overrides their gravitational pull. The massive dark vessels freeze instantly in the cold white air. Their destructive cores are locked in a permanent state of zero. System alert. Enemy fleet propulsion systems are entirely frozen. The shadowy scavengers try to retreat into their dark portal. They realize they have challenged a true supreme cosmic power. The Azure Dragon does not allow any enemies to simply run away. The beast phases its massive body into the invisible time stream. It travels back to the exact moment these parasites were created. I watch the present reality shudder under the heavy time load. The millions of shadowy figures suddenly begin to dissolve away. Their antimatter forms decay into completely harmless gray dust. The heavy kinetic temporal strike erases their very dark origin. They are entirely wiped from the grand cosmic historical record. System alert. Outer void invasion force successfully eliminated. The dark portal remains open in the center of the bright void. I sense a much larger hostile presence waiting on the other side. The king of the anti-existence wants to challenge my dark rule. He steps through the jagged spatial tear with massive heavy feet. His massive body is composed of billions of crushed dead worlds. He wears a crown forged from the absolute absence of pure light. System alert, alpha-level conceptual threat detected in the area. The Void King points a massive heavy sword directly at my head. The weapon radiates a highly unstable, destructive kinetic energy. He swings the giant blade and shatters the local spatial fabric. A massive wave of absolute nothingness rushes toward my throne. I cross my armored arms and observe his pathetic final attack. The Azure Dragon steps forward to protect its supreme master. The glowing blue veins on its deep space scales flare with power. It opens its jaws and releases a pure, concentrated stasis breath. The freezing cosmic energy collides with the wave of nothingness. The two supreme conceptual forces grind against each other hard. Sparks of raw, broken reality rain down upon the cold white floor. The temporal magic slowly overpowers the destructive dark energy. The massive wave of nothingness freezes into a solid glass wall. The Void King watches his ultimate attack fail in absolute shock. System alert. Hostile reality erasure wave entirely neutralized. He tries to activate a temporal escape drive on his armored back. He plans to escape into the future to avoid my total dark wrath. I cannot allow this massive, pathetic insect to simply run away. I tell my cosmic beast to deliver the final absolute punishment. The dragon phases into the invisible, flowing, deep time stream. It travels back to the exact moment this dark Void King was born. I watch his massive physical body begin to rapidly wither away. His thick, heavy armor plates turn into brittle, fine gray powder. The crushed, dead galaxies inside his chest lose their gravity. His entire massive body turns into a cloud of gray, floating dust. His lifeline was brutally severed thousands of cosmic years ago. The supreme ruler of the anti-existence simply ceased to exist. System alert, Omega-level threat successfully erased from reality. I walk across the silent white floor toward the open dark portal. The jagged spatial tear leads directly into the cold outer void. I can see an endless expanse of pure black, empty nothingness. This is the final frontier that has not yet tasted my dark power. The Azure Dragon returns from the time stream and lands near me. Its glowing blue veins pulse with a fresh surge of cosmic energy. System alert, dimensional transition parameters are fully satisfied. I step through the dark portal and leave the frozen universe. The lack of physical matter feels like a heavy blow to my armor. My dark protective gear easily absorbs the extreme deep pressure. The Azure Dragon follows me through the closing dark space rift. Its cold cosmic presence lights up the endless pure dark void. Millions of hostile shadow eyes open in the surrounding darkness. The remaining anti-existence army prepares to defend their realm. They summon massive weapons forged from the absolute nothingness. I do not draw my weapon or prepare any defensive magic spells. The dragon simply stares at the approaching massive shadow swarm. It does not even need to use the legendary blue stasis breath. It phases its heavy tail into the invisible flowing time stream. The temporal strike manifests in the current physical reality. The leading shadows suddenly lose their dark physical bodies. They crumble into fine gray dust and blow away into the void. Their creation was prevented by an attack in the distant past. The remaining shadow army halts their advance in absolute shock. They look at their fallen comrades with visible deep confusion. System alert mass temporal severance protocol entirely executed. The dragon opens its jaws to finish the rest of the dark swarm. A silent wave of pure blue stasis energy washes over the void. The shadow entities freeze instantly in the cold, empty, dark void. They hang completely motionless above the endless, deep, dark pit. Their blank faces are locked in a permanent, silent, absolute fear. I watch the frozen dark statues cast long shadows on nothingness. Every single enemy who dared to oppose us is now a frozen statue. System alert. Absolute temporal suppression successfully deployed. I walk through the silent ranks of these paralyzed shadow beasts. Every single one is fully conscious inside the frozen dark shell. They will float here forever to display my absolute dark reign. The stasis field permanently alters the entire local environment. I stand at the very edge of the massive frozen outer dark void. I look out across the endless emptiness separating the many realms. Infinite dead worlds are waiting to be conquered by my dark power. The Azure Dragon coils its massive body around a tall, dark spire. The glowing blue veins illuminate the dead, silent, dark landscape. We are the absolute masters of both the deep void and the pure time. System alert. Ultimate dimensional authority permanently secured now. I close my eyes and let the freezing cosmic energy wash over me. The silence of a frozen world is the most beautiful sound of all. I open my eyes and observe the frozen dark shadow statues. The absolute silence is suddenly broken by a heavy, deep vibration. A massive physical anomaly forms in the distant, empty black space. System alert. Unidentified temporal distortion detected in sector. The Azure Dragon raises its heavy head from the dark stone spire. Its blue eyes pierce through the absolute, pure, dark nothingness. A giant mechanical entity rises from the bottom of the deep void. It is constructed entirely from shattered gears of dead universes. The metal giant radiates a massive wave of pure, destructive heat. I stand my ground and calculate the kinetic force of its arrival. The heavy gravity pull bends the local frozen spatial fabric here. System alert. Ancient Chronos engine-class enemy is approaching now. This machine was designed to consume and destroy frozen timelines. It feeds on the static energy of completely paralyzed dimensions. The machine points a massive heavy cannon directly at my chest. It fires a concentrated beam of accelerated raw temporal energy. The attack is meant to age my physical armor into pure, weak dust. I do not even bother to summon any basic magic defensive barriers. The Azure Dragon steps forward and blocks the massive glowing beam. The temporal energy hits the cold, deep space blue dragon scales. The accelerated time flow shatters against the heavy cosmic armor. The dragon absorbs the kinetic impact without moving a single inch. System alert. Hostile time acceleration attack successfully blocked. The mechanical giant pauses its advance in visible deep cold shock. It cannot process how my beast survived the massive time blast. I point my heavy armored finger at the massive floating metal head. The dragon opens its jaws to release the cold blue void breath. The stasis energy travels across the void at a massive high speed. The freezing cosmic wave hits the giant central metal core hard. The heavy gears instantly stop turning under the extreme deep cold. The machine tries to reverse its internal time flow to escape now. It wants to rewind its physical state to before the heavy strike. The stasis field completely overrides the internal quantum engines. System alert, target temporal reversal sequence fully neutralized. The giant metal entity becomes a permanent silent floating statue. Its massive glowing red eyes fade into a dull, dead dark color now. I walk across the invisible floor toward the frozen metal structure. The temperature drops further as I approach the paralyzed machine. I place my heavy armored hand on the frozen cold titanium surface. I feel the trapped kinetic energy screaming inside the metal shell. It will spend eternity trapped in this single frozen dead moment. System alert. Supreme mechanical threat successfully eliminated. A massive spatial tear opens directly behind my exact position. The void fabric rips apart with a deafening heavy loud sound now. Thousands of hostile time hunters pour out of the dark space rift. They ride upon floating beasts made of pure, bright white light. Their weapons are forged from the compressed cores of dying stars. System alert, massive enemy ambush detected in the local void area. The lead hunter throws a heavy glowing spear directly at my head. The weapon flies faster than the standard physical speed of light. I do not even blink as the burning weapon approaches my cold face. The Azure Dragon shifts its massive tail through the empty space. The deep space scales intercept the glowing spear in the midair. The pure kinetic impact creates a massive silent shockwave here. The burning star weapon shatters into a million harmless pieces. System alert. Hostile thermal projectile successfully destroyed. The hunters halt their massive charge in absolute pure deep shock. They realize their ultimate weapon could not even scratch my beast. I project my cold, dark authority across the entire empty dark void. These pathetic fools dare to interrupt my perfect, endless peace. I command the cosmic dragon to erase their entire existence now. The beast does not bother to use the freezing blue stasis breath. It phases its massive body into the invisible flowing time stream. The temporal waters ripple under the weight of my absolute beast. The dragon travels back to the moment these weak hunters were made. I watch the present reality shudder under the massive time strain. The thousands of hostile hunters suddenly begin to dissolve away. Their solid physical bodies decay into harmless gray floating dust. The glowing light beasts underneath them fade into absolute nothing. Their historical lifelines were brutally severed in the deep past. They cease to exist before they can launch another weak attack now. System alert, mass temporal erasure protocol completely executed. The dark spatial rift remains open in the center of the black void. I sense an ancient cosmic presence waiting on the other dark side. A being of pure condensed dark matter steps through the dark portal. He wears a massive heavy crown forged from dead black hole cores. This is the supreme emperor of the forgotten outer deep darkness. He looks at my cosmic beast with absolute pure burning dark hatred. System alert, Omega level threat detected in the local void sector. The Dark Emperor raises his massive hands to rewrite the physics. He summons a massive storm of highly unstable heavy dark matter. The black clouds of absolute death rush toward my exact location. The heavy gravity inside the storm crushes the frozen space fabric. I cross my heavy armored arms and observe his pathetic weak attack. The Azure Dragon steps forward to protect its supreme dark master. The glowing blue veins on its massive scales flare with pure power. It opens its heavy jaws and releases a concentrated stasis breath. The freezing cosmic energy hits the massive heavy dark matter wave. The two supreme conceptual forces grind against each other heavily. Sparks of raw, broken reality fall onto the cold, invisible floor now. The temporal magic slowly overpowers the heavy dark matter energy. The massive dark matter wave freezes into a solid dark glass form. The Dark Emperor watches his heavy attack fail in absolute pure shock. He tries to activate a massive dark escape portal behind his back. He plans to retreat into the deepest abyss to avoid my total wrath. I cannot allow this massive, pathetic insect to escape my dark rule. I command my cosmic beast to deliver the final absolute punishment. The dragon phases into the invisible flowing deep time stream now. It travels back to the exact moment this dark void emperor was born. I watch his massive physical body begin to rapidly wither away here. His thick, heavy dark matter armor turns into brittle, fine gray dust. The crushed, dead black holes inside his chest lose their gravity. His entire massive body turns into a cloud of gray, floating powder. His dark lifeline was brutally severed thousands of cosmic years ago. The supreme ruler of the outer darkness simply ceased to exist here. System Alert Omega, level threat successfully erased from reality. I walk across the silent, invisible floor toward the open dark portal. The jagged spatial tear leads directly into the deepest outer abyss. I can see an endless expanse of pure black, empty, deep nothingness. This is the final frontier that has not yet tasted my dark, raw power. The Azure Dragon returns from the time stream and lands near my feet. Its glowing blue veins pulse with a fresh surge of pure cosmic energy. System Alert dimensional transition parameters are fully satisfied. I step through the dark portal and leave the local frozen void sector. The extreme pressure of the deep abyss hits my dark heavy armor hard. My dark protective gear easily absorbs the extreme crushing deep force. The Azure Dragon follows me through the closing dark space rift now. Its cold cosmic presence lights up the endless pure dark empty abyss. Millions of hostile ancient eyes open in the surrounding deep darkness. The remaining Dark Abyss army prepares to defend their final realm. They summon massive weapons forged from the absolute pure nothingness. I do not draw my weapon or prepare any defensive magic spells here. The dragon simply stares at the approaching massive dark shadow swarm. It does not even need to use the legendary blue stasis void breath. It phases its heavy tail into the invisible flowing deep time stream. The temporal strike manifests in the current physical reality right now. The leading dark shadow beasts suddenly lose their physical dark bodies. They crumble into fine gray dust and blow away into the endless void. Their ancient creation was prevented by an attack in the distant past. The remaining dark army halts their massive advance in absolute shock. They look at their fallen comrades with visible deep, pure, cold confusion. System Alert Mass Temporal Severance Protocol entirely executed now. The dragon opens its jaws to finish the rest of the dark shadow swarm. A silent wave of pure blue stasis energy washes over the entire abyss. The dark shadow entities freeze instantly in the cold, empty dark space. They hang completely motionless above the endless, deep, dark, bottomless pit. Their blank faces are locked in a permanent, silent, absolute, deep fear. I watch the frozen dark statues cast long shadows on the pure nothingness. Every single enemy who dared to oppose us is now a permanent frozen statue. System Alert. Absolute temporal suppression successfully deployed here. I walk through the silent ranks of these paralyzed dark shadow beasts. Every single one is fully conscious inside the frozen dark heavy shell. They will float here forever to display my absolute dark eternal reign. The stasis field permanently alters the entire local deep dark environment. I stand at the very edge of the massive frozen outer dark endless abyss. I look out across the empty nothingness separating the final prime realms. Infinite dead worlds are waiting to be conquered by my dark temporal power. The Azure Dragon coils its massive body around a tall, dark, frozen spire. The glowing blue veins illuminate the dead, silent, dark, frozen landscape. We are the absolute masters of both the deep void and the pure time stream. System Alert Ultimate Dimensional Authority permanently secured forever. I close my eyes and let the freezing cosmic energy wash over my heavy armor. The absolute silence of a completely frozen multiverse is my greatest victory. I stand at the very edge of the frozen outer dark void. The absolute silence stretches across the dead black space. This empty domain now belongs entirely to my cosmic beast. System Alert. Outer void sector completely secured and locked. The Azure Dragon unwraps its heavy body from the dark spire. Its glowing blue veins pulse with raw temporal magic power. I calculate the energy needed to cross the final boundary. A sudden gravitational shift disrupts the perfect dead calm. Massive ripples appear in the fabric of the dark, empty void. I watch the space tear open with cold, pragmatic calculation. 3 colossal entities emerge from the deep spatial rupture. They possess physical bodies made of pure, compressed nebula. These are the ancient devourers of the forgotten dimensions. System Alert Prime celestial parasites detected in the area. The central devourer opens its massive, glowing purple mouth. It attempts to consume the temporal energy of my dark beast. A heavy suction force pulls at my dense black metal armor. I simply anchor my heavy boots to the frozen invisible floor. The Azure Dragon does not show any signs of biological fear. It phases its massive physical body into the deep time stream. The heavy suction force suddenly loses its spatial target now. The central devourer stops moving in absolute pure deep shock. It cannot comprehend the sudden disappearance of its prey. A massive temporal shockwave hits the three ancient entities. The central devourer suddenly loses its glowing purple core. Its massive nebula body crumbles into harmless gray cosmic dust. The dragon destroyed its origin in the distant ancient past. System alert: primary celestial parasite completely erased now. The remaining two devourers try to flee back into the rift. They realize they have challenged a true supreme dark power. I point my heavy armored finger at their retreating big backs. The cosmic beast returns from the void and opens its jaws. A massive wave of freezing blue stasis energy rushes forward. The temporal magic hits the fleeing entities in the mid-air. Their massive nebula bodies freeze instantly in the cold void. They hang completely motionless above the endless dark deep pit. Their glowing eyes are locked in a permanent silent dark fear. System alert: hostile entities successfully locked in stasis. I walk across the invisible floor toward the frozen targets. I observe their paralyzed forms with absolute pure cold logic. They will spend eternity regretting their massive fatal error. The spatial rupture remains open in the dead silent black void. I sense a massive source of dark chaotic magic deep inside it. This is the hidden core of the entire outer void dimension. I command my cosmic dragon to enter the dark spatial portal. We emerge inside a realm made entirely of pure black liquid. There are no stars in this endless, empty, dark, heavy ocean. System alert: entering the primary void core control sector. A massive floating heart beats in the center of the dark sea. It pumps pure chaotic corruption into the surrounding space. The heavy rhythmic sound echoes through the empty black void. Hundreds of shadowy tentacles rise from the dark liquid below. They try to wrap around the glowing blue scales of my beast. I do not feel any biological fear facing this ancient horror. The Azure Dragon lets out a silent pulse of pure void energy. The freezing blue aura clashes against the dark corruption. System alert: hostile void core defense mechanism activated. The massive heart accelerates its heavy dark beating rhythm. It releases a concentrated wave of pure absolute mental decay. The black energy travels through the void with terrifying speed. I simply stand my ground and watch the dark mental wave approach. My dark protective armor easily blocks the pathetic magic attack. The dragon exhales a concentrated beam of freezing blue mist. The stasis breath hits the dark wave in the absolute midair. The destructive dark energy instantly drops to absolute zero. The massive wave becomes a harmless pillar of frozen blue ice. It shatters into a million tiny pieces of harmless cold dust. The giant heart stops beating in absolute pure deep dark shock. It cannot comprehend the destruction of its ultimate weapon. System alert: enemy mental attack successfully neutralized now. I point my left hand at the massive floating dark void heart. The Azure Dragon dives into the invisible flowing time stream. The blue glowing scales vanish from my direct physical sight. A temporal shockwave ripples across the dark liquid dimension. The shadowy tentacles suddenly lose their solid physical forms. Their dark bodies decay into dull gray floating cosmic dust. The dragon has destroyed their ancient source in the deep past. They cease to exist before they can launch another dark strike. System alert: defensive void tentacles erased from the timeline. The dark liquid ocean becomes completely silent and very still. I walk across the invisible floor toward the massive dark core. This giant organ controls the flow of corruption in all worlds. The Azure Dragon materializes right behind my exact position. Its massive deep space eyes stare at the glowing dark center. I place my armored hand on the cold surface of the huge heart. System alert: access to the primary void core is fully granted. A violent energy signature disrupts the perfect silent dark calm. The space above the heart tears open with immense raw dark force. A colossal figure steps out of the swirling black spatial rift. He wears heavy dark armor forged from the crushed dead planets. This is the prime avatar of the entire infinite deep dark abyss. He looks at my cosmic beast with absolute pure burning hatred. He raises his massive sword to rewrite the laws of dark physics. The gravity in the dark void increases 1,000,000 times over now. The Azure Dragon simply ignores the heavy gravitational shift. Its body is completely immune to any standard physical forces. System alert: extreme gravity anomaly detected in the local area. The Avatar summons a massive storm of pure, dark, sharp antimatter. He plans to erase my physical body from the current dimension. The black clouds of destruction rush toward my exact location. I command my beast to execute the final absolute dark judgment. The dragon opens its jaws to release the ultimate stasis breath. The freezing cosmic wave hits the dense dark antimatter storm. The destructive black energy completely stops moving in the air. It freezes into a solid wall of harmless dark glass structure. The Avatar watches his supreme attack fail in absolute deep shock. He tries to open an emergency portal to escape the frozen zone. He does not understand that time is already completely locked. The stasis field expands rapidly across the dark liquid void. System alert: total dimensional lockdown protocol is now active. The freezing blue radiation washes over his massive tall figure. The Avatar freezes mid-step while reaching for his dark portal. His powerful cosmic body is now a permanent silent ice statue. His eyes are wide open with pure, terrifying, cold realization. He is fully conscious inside his paralyzed, immortal dead flesh. He will spend eternity watching me rule his precious dark void. He is completely trapped in a single, endless, agonizing moment. System alert: Supreme Abyss Avatar successfully neutralized now. The Azure Dragon coils its massive body around the giant heart. The blue veins pulse with the rhythm of 1,000,000,000 frozen stars. I look out across the endless, frozen, dark, pure, empty expanse. Every single threat in existence is now completely eliminated. There are no more monsters left to challenge my absolute rule. I am the sole master of the abyss and the infinite time stream. I command the dragon to synchronize with the massive dark core. The beast plunges its heavy claws into the cold black surface. A massive wave of pure blue cosmic energy explodes outward now. It travels faster than light across every single known dark sea. The stasis field alters the fundamental laws of the deep void. System alert: universal void rewrite process is starting right now. The frozen Avatar floats silently in the new dark empty ocean. His paralyzed form will orbit this central core for an eternity. I sit upon a new throne forged from the shattered black crystals. The cold, deep space scales of my beast rest heavy at my feet. I feel the absolute perfection of this completely silent abyss. Time no longer flows forward in a chaotic, unpredictable river. It stands perfectly still under my direct absolute command now.
This video and everything in it are completely fictional and original creations by the author. The story is made only for storytelling and entertainment inside a fictional universe. It isn't meant to encourage violence, dangerous actions, or harmful behavior, and nothing in this video should be copied in real life. All characters shown in this work are fictional and are presented as 18 years old or older. This content is made only for entertainment and isn't intended to offend, attack, or harm any person, group, or organization. This channel is more than just entertainment. It's made to share deep ideas, powerful meanings, and valuable insights through stories that make you think and feel in a new way.